Today we are doing a success martial arts fundamentals video or foundations video, and we are going to be talking about and showing you how to tie your belt. So I'm going to be using this white belt. I have taped it up, so we have a red tip and a blue tip. So as we go through and show you what we do to tie our belt correctly, you'll be able to see what side is doing what and all of that. So I'm also going to be showing you a couple of different ways to tie your belt. So these are some of the different ways that you can tie it, from the basic version of just getting it on the waist and tying it correctly to some of the more advanced ways of doing it to make it look like you have one belt going all the way around. And yeah, so stick with me and let's learn how to tie our belt correctly. Alright, so let's get into it. Starting out just doing the basic version of tying our belt. So again, I got rid of my black belt and gonna be using the white belt here. So step number one, what you gotta do is find the middle of your belt. So what we wanna do is just make sure the tails are nice and even, right? And then just gonna slide down until I find the exact middle of the belt. And most of the time, when the belts come, they are folded up real nice for us and can, fit real nice and fold up real easily. So generally, when you start to unfold your belt, there is already a pretty solid fold where the center is. So once I find the middle, what I want to do is take the middle of the belt and put it right about my belly button. So just right here in the middle of my stomach. And some people like it a little lower, some people like it a little higher, so wherever you want it, but most important is the middle of the belt is in the middle of your belly. Then from there, what I'm gonna do is wrap my tails around my hind, and then just switch which hand is holding, and then bring them around back in front, and I just wanna lay the tails on top of each other. So you can see I have the red tail over on this side, and I have the blue tail over on this side. So the blue tail is first, and then the red tail that I have is over the top. So I want to take the red tail, the tail that's all the way on the outside, and what I want to do is take it underneath all of the other pieces of the belt. And from there I can pull it to however tight I want it, and get it, making sure again my tails are even. And then the trick to getting the knot correctly is I have the red tail sticking out of the top of my belt and my blue tail is sticking out of the bottom. So the way I like to remember it is we go the blue tail, the bottom tail goes on bottom, so I'm just gonna flip it over. The red tail, or the tail coming out of the top, is gonna lay on top. So bottom on bottom, top on top, and then I'm gonna pull the top through the middle and pull it tight. Now if I do it correctly, then I get what I call the fortune cookie knot. So just like if you ever go to a Chinese restaurant and you get the fortune cookie at the end of the meal, then that's kind of what this knot looks like. So if you did it right, you got your tails nice and even, and you got that fortune cookie looking knot. Now with this version, if I turn around, you can see my tail, my belt is kind of crisscrossed up back here. So this again, perfectly fine for class, but in the next section of the video, I'm gonna show you how to do the same thing, but to make it look like it's just one belt going all the way around, so you don't see the two separated there. So stick with me, let's do the advanced version. All right, so now we're gonna go through the tying is gonna be the exact same. The only thing that's gonna be different is when we're wrapping our tail around, what we can do to make it look like one clean belt all the way around. So once again, we start out, wanna find the center of the belt, right? Once I have the center, I'm gonna again put it right here on the middle of my belly. But this time, as I go around and then I come back, now again, you can see that the tail is going to be kind of crisscrossed here. So I'm going to put the blue one on top here, and the red one, I'm going to actually tuck it underneath. So it goes the red tail, then the regular belt, and then the other one on top. Now, when I tuck the red one underneath like this, I can actually tuck it underneath all the way around. So once again, now I don't get that crisscross going on, and I get a clean, nice one line all the way around. Then from here, we're gonna do the exact same thing. So from here, I have the blue one that's all the way on the outside here, right? So this side, I'm gonna take that one and put it underneath everything, and then I'm gonna pull my belt nice and tight, and then I check my tails. Now here, you can see that my blue tail is longer than my red tail. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab the belt and I'm gonna slide everything a little bit more towards the red side. So whichever side is shorter, you just wanna turn your belt a little bit that way. And then we kind of retie, re-cinch, and then we can check it again. And now the tails are pretty well even. So from here, once again, all we have to do is bottom on bottom, top through the middle. So the red tail is sticking out of the bottom, so it goes on bottom. The blue tail is sticking out of the top, so it goes on top. And then I'm gonna take the blue tail, or the one all the way on top, go through that little loop there, right? So when I do this, I have this hole. So I'm gonna bring that through, and then I'm gonna pull my belt nice and tight. And when I cinch my belt, what I wanna do is I get it nice and cinched here, but I can only squeeze it so far. So once I get here, what I'm gonna do is bring my hands in and then tug nice and fast my belt straight out. Boom. And that's gonna cinch that tail down, that knot down. Again, my tails are looking pretty even there. I got the fortune cookie looking knot, and I have that nice clean line all the way around. So it is ready to go. So when I do this, sometimes when you tug the belt like this, you can get that top knot extra tight and it becomes kind of hard to get it off. So what I'm gonna do if my knot is a little bit really too tight and it's really hard to get off, the way that I do it is I'm gonna take my belt and I'm gonna pinch it in half. And I'm gonna do that on both sides, pretty close to the knot here. Once I pinch it in half, I'm gonna push the tails straight in towards the knot. And I just push them in that little bit, and that's gonna loosen that knot up and make it very easy to come loose. All right, now, so let's do that one more time. And then I have a slightly different way of tying your belt that some people like better. So once again, we find the middle of the belt, put it in the middle of our belt. We wrap our tails around and back in front. And then I like to take this side, and then that's the one I'm gonna tuck underneath. So I slide that around, I get that tail and the belt looking nice and clean all the way around. And then from here, this is where I kind of like to take a look and make sure my tails are looking pretty good. If, let's say, the red tail was way longer than the blue tail, then again, all I do is I slide my belt towards the short and then come right back into the middle, and I try it again. That looks pretty even. So now the blue tail is the one all the way on the outside. We go underneath and pull it tight. Again, adjust it, get it where you want it, and then, oh, my tails are a little bit uneven, so I move it towards the blue, pull it back tight, there we go, and then bottom on bottom, top on top, and then the top through the middle. Pull it tight, dangle them down. They're still a little uneven, but they're pretty close, so I am ready for class. All right, one more section to this video. So just to give you a slightly different way of tying your belt. So again, the way that we tie our belt is gonna be the exact same, where we're using the bottom on bottom, top on top, and top through the middle. However, this is a way to get the clean line of your belt a little bit easier. So instead of tucking one under and tucking it under all the way, this is actually a way of being able to do it and just where you get all the belts lying on top of each other. Real simple right from the start. So on this version, instead of finding the middle of my belt like we've been doing in the rest of the techniques, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to find one side. Okay, so I'm going to start with the red tail. Now, the way that this is going to work is I'm going to take the red tail, and what I want to do is I want to bring it around and put it just on the small of my back. And then all I'm going to do is wrap my belt around the outside of that. And if I did it right, my blue tail should be about in the middle of my back when I'm done as well. So once I've wrapped it around like that, then all I gotta do is take my hand and grab in the middle here. And when I let go, the blue tail is gonna come out. But the red tail, I'm gonna have to reach in and I just pull it out from underneath everything. So now again, I have the blue tail on top. I got the red tail sticking out here. So the blue tail is outside of everything. So that's the one that I take underneath and I pull it to the desired tightness. I can check my tails, move it if I need to, move it a little more. There we go. Now, we just go back to the same thing, bottom on bottom, which is the red tail. Tail sticking out of the top, top goes on top, top comes through the middle, and then I pull it tight. Tails look good. I have that nice clean line all the way around. My fortune cookie looking knot, my tails are even, so I am now ready for class. Let's do it one more time. So again, if my tails are a little bit too, my knot is tight and I can't just push it out, I just fold those tails in half, and then I just wiggle them straight in. The knot comes right undone, and then we can try it again. So once again, we start with one side. I bring it all the way around, put it on the small of my back here, and I just wrap this other side all the way around, and I just keep going until I run out of room. Once I get there, I just grab all three tails in the front, let go, and that blue tail comes back automatically. But then my red tail, I gotta reach under, and I just pull the red tail out. From there, check the tails, they're looking pretty even. There we go. So the blue tail is on top, top all the way under, and I pull everything nice and tight. Then from there, check my tails, they're looking pretty good. So bottom on bottom, top on top, top through the middle. Pull it tight, tails are good. Make sure my knot is in the middle of my belly. Got that nice smooth line all the way across. So, thanks for watching. Practice this as much as you need to learn how to get that belt tied exactly the way you want it to for your class.